Okay, hello everyone. Yes, today we are going to start the passive voice. Yes, I am very excited about this subject matter. And from this lesson on, from this video on, we shall make three more videos consequently about passive voice. But what is passive voice? Yes, when it comes to active voice or passive voice, we immediately remember the answers of the question words what and who. Okay, what or who does what. And yes, for example, Michael follows uh, Alice, and or a dog follows a cat. Yes. So what does the dog do, and what does Michael do? Okay. So the answer of this question tells us that who performs the action and who receives the action. So who does the action, who performs the action is the active voice, who receives the action is the passive voice. For example, Michael follows Alice, so Michael does the action. This is active voice, okay? Michael follows Alice. But Alice is followed, okay? Alice is followed by Michael is the passive voice. So let's start with our passive voice. Of course, I will have to again talk about uh, in general principles, okay? So standards. So I have to make a introduction about passive voice. So I will take your attention to some basic principles. Okay, let me share our presentation and start our passive voice video. Okay, all right. Anyway, and welcome back. So let's see what there are in our passive voice presentation. So trip 7, a general information about the passive voice. Yes. In the passive voice, number 1, appropriate tense of to be. Okay, in the passive voice, our verb is to be, as am is are, was were, been or be. Okay. So to be is used in passive voice as a verb after subject. We can't think of the passive sentences without be and the past participle of the verb. Verb 3. Yes, for example, Alice is followed. Followed, verb 3, past participle. Alice is followed by Michael. The cat is followed by the dog. Okay. Number 2, the sentences are either in non-continuous passive or continuous passive forms. Again, continuous is also valid in passive structures. For example, that car was bought. Okay, that car was bought yesterday. It is being washed now. So subject is it, and after it is comes. So because of is, so present continuous tense of passive voice is this. Will be like, of course, we will study about it more. It is being washed now, okay? The car is being washed now by Ahmed Bey. And in the future, it will be sold. Subject is it, the car will be sold. So in the future, will be. Instead of am is are, was, were, been, we use be with will, or can be, must be, has to be sold. might be solved, could be solved with models. The simple feature of passive voice will be like this. Okay. Again, let's talk about generally. Let's talk about it generally. Number 3, the passive voice isn't formed with intransitive verbs such as blow, flow, swim, smile, walk, talk, because they don't have object. They don't require an object. Ahmed Bey walks in the mornings, okay? The rivers flow, the wind blow, okay? You can swim, I can swim. A baby cannot talk, think, cry, live. They live in Antalya, okay? So if there isn't an object in a sentence, we can't make a passive sentence because they are intransitive verbs. They are not transitive verbs. Work, go, come, run. But some of them sometimes if they take an object, of course, we make a passive sentence. Stop, for example. Stop, it is both transitive and intransitive. For example, Ahmed Bey stopped in the middle of the road. So we cannot make a passive sentence from this sentence. But Ahmed Bey stopped the boy. Yes, so this time it has an object, so we can we can make the passive structure, or we can make a passive sentence from that active sentence. Okay. The other, both transitive and intransitive verbs are, for example, start, turn, change, develop, transform, don't degenerate, wake up, etc., etc. For example, the wind blows, yes, no object, it has no object. The plants grow, okay. The rivers flow, animals move, birds sing, cats meow. The traffic also flows. We talk, we walk, we work, and we live. So no object, no passive voice. Peter smiled. So this is intransitive. Object is not necessary here, and there isn't an object, in fact. But here, Peter saw what? Okay, we immediately remember the question word what? Peter saw. What did Peter sell? Transitive. Object is necessary here. So immediately we say Peter sold the car as an active voice. So what did Peter sell? Peter sold the car. So the passive, we can change it into passive voice like this. Of course, the next video will be the passive voice of the past tenses. Okay, this is just an example sentence here. We will study it completely in the following, just after this video completely. Okay, the car was sold. Okay, the car is the subject, was is the verb, one of the variations of to be, and sold is sell, sold. Sold, past participle, verb 3. This is passive voice. Okay, we will study it completely in the next video. Okay, now number 4, the transitive verbs which are followed by objects can be changed into passive voice. For example, yes, in this video we are going to study the passive voice with simple present tense, like this. They grow tea in Rize. They subject, grow verb, tea object in Rize is complement. So they perform the action of growing, okay? They perform, they do it, but tea receives it, okay? Tea is affected by it. They grow tea in Rize, so the passive voice is like this. Tea is grown, grow, grew, grown, verb 3. Tea is grown in Rize. Is it clear? Okay, for now, of course, this is an introduction. B, They grow nuts in Ordu and Giresun. So nuts are grown in Ordu and Giresun in the Black Sea region of Turkey. C, they make or they produce cars in Bursa. Okay, but so in passive voice, cars are made or cars are produced in Bursa. D, they visit me. They subject. Me is object. They visit me every 4 months. So I am visited every 4 months. Yes, we will study this passive voice in detail in the following pages of this presentation. Albert grows tea in the balcony. Tea is grown in the balcony by Albert. Okay. 5, the agent or doer or performer of the action is sometimes important and sometimes is not important, as tea, nuts, cars, and me are more important than they in the message of the active sentence. They become the subject of the passive sentence, okay? It isn't necessary to use by them, but it is necessary to use by Albert. It's a specific occasion. What does Albert do? Specifically, Albert doesn't grow tea in the fields, in the orchards, in the garden, but Albert grows tea in the balcony. So tea is grown in the balcony by Albert. By Albert is necessary here. Yes. Yes, it is natural that we always need passive voice in speaking English. Okay. So I am sure that your English up to now will double when we have acquired these passive voice sentences. Okay, let's take a look at this page. To invite is active, okay, infinitive. To be invited is passive infinitive. For example, we will also study that kind of sentences more and more in the following videos. For example, it is easy for you to say, I am happy to invite you. But what about this sentence? I am happy to be invited by you. Yes, we will study full videos, okay, about this type of sentences. I am honored to invite you. I am honored to invite you to be here, okay? But what about this one? I am honored to be invited by you. I am honored to be invited by you. Okay. I am happy to have invited you. I am happy to have invited. I am happy to have been invited by you. Of course, this is a general introduction about the 4 videos in the future. Now, what does the gift say? It's an honor to be here. Yes, noun to be, it's a simple sentence. It's an honor to be here. But if she says, I am honored to be here, I am honored to be invited by you, or I am honored to have been invited by you. Okay. Please pay attention to the active and passive construction. To draw is active non-continuous, okay? To draw. My friend draws city maps. We are quite familiar with these active sentences, with that kind of active sentences. My friend draws city maps. What about to? Now we are going to be familiar with this type of infinitives and phrases and sentences. To be drawing, okay? Active continuous form, not passive, sorry, active again. To be drawing, again, active continuous form. Your friend is still drawing a map of this town. There is no problem for us because we have already been familiar with that kind of active sentences, both in simple form and continuous form. Your friend is still drawing a map of his hometown. Still drawing, continuous tense. Present continuous tense. Okay, to be drawn, passive non-continuous. This is new for us, okay? To be drawn, passive non-continuous. City maps are drawn by my friend. City maps are drawn by my friend. We should identify my friend with by because it is the doer of the action and it is necessary. What about this? This is very new for us. To be being, okay? To be being drawn again. We cannot think of passive sentences without verb 3. There isn't even a single passive sentence without verb 3 and without one of the variations of to be. So to be being drawn, passive continuous form. A map of his town is still being drawn, okay? Is still being drawn by your friend. Okay. Map is necessary here. So a map of his hometown is still being drawn by your friend. Now, worth remembering, infinitives and gerunds as active and passive. Okay. So they also have active form and passive form like this. Yes, what we know is this part. To ask questions is useful. We know it very well. Or asking questions is useful. And even we know the most common form is this. It's useful to ask questions. It's useful to ask questions. But what about the last part? 3, for example, to be asked. Okay, instead of saying to ask, now to be asked questions is useful. Being asked questions is useful, and it is useful to be asked questions. Yes, we will also study that kind of sentences in complete videos in the following lessons. Okay, but just a general information. You can consider this part as a general information about the active voice and the passive voice. Yes, some verbs as active, passive, and as continuous or non-continuous. To play, to be playing, active. To be played, to be being played, passive. Yes, football. For example, they play football. They are playing football. But what about after and? Football is played. Football is played. Football is being played now. Okay? They are playing football now. Football is being played now. To drink. To be drinking, active. But to be drunk, to be being drunk is passive. Yes, I drink tea. I am the doer of the action. I drink tea every day. And now I am drinking tea active, okay? But I am the doer, performer of the action drink, to drink or drinking. What about this part? Now tea receives the action, okay? Okay, so to be drunk, tea is drunk now. So drink, drank, drunk, okay? Tea is drunk. Every day, sorry, not now, every day. Tea is drunk every day. Simple present of passive. To be being drunk. Now this is present continuous of passive voice. Tea is being drunk now. Okay, tea is being drunk by now. Maybe coffee is being drunk by you, but tea is being drunk. This is the passive present continuous tense. Let's go ahead. To eat is like this. To be eating, active. To be eaten, to be being eaten, passive. To learn, to be learning, active. To be learned, to be being learned, passive. To produce or to grow, make, manufacture. To be producing, to be produced, passive, to be being produced, now, passive, continuous. To destroy, to be destroying, to be destroyed, to be being destroyed. To report, to be reporting, active, to be reported, to be being reported, passive. To interview, to be interviewing, active. Ahmet is interviewing Jasmine, for example. Ahmet is the doer, but Jasmine receives the action. Okay, to be interviewed, so just to be being interviewed, Jasmine is being interviewed now. Continuous passive. To dig, to be digging, to be duck, dig, duck, to be being duck. To write, to be writing, write, wrote, written, to be written, to be being written. What is being written now, for example? I am sure a letter is being written now, or a report is being written now. Okay. To carve, to be carving, to be carved, to be being carved. To paint, to be painting, to be painted, to be being painted. To call, to be calling, active continuous, to be called, present passive, to be being called, present continuous passive. To see, to be seeing, to be seen, to be being seen. To take, to be taking, active, to be taken, to be being taken, passive. Okay, to hide, to be hiding something, for example, active, to be hidden, to be being hidden by somebody. To discover, to be discovering, active, to be discovered, to be being discovered, passive. To find, to be finding, to be found, to be being found. To lose, to be losing, to be lost, to be being lost. To use, active, simple present. They use a car. To be using, active, continuous. They are using a car, because we cannot think of continuous tenses without to be, without one of the variations of to be. They are using the car, but to be used, a car is used by them. To be being used, right now, a car is being used by them. Don't worry, they don't need a car. A car is being used by them today, now. Okay. To carry, to be carrying, active, to be carried, to be being carried, passive. To show, to be showing, to be showed, to be being shown. To visit, to be visiting, to be visited, to be being visited. Okay, to please someone. Ahmet pleases his father, for example. Every day, Ahmet pleases his father. To be pleasing, Ahmet is pleasing his father now, right now. To be pleased, Ahmet's father is pleased by Ahmet. Okay, right now, Ahmet's father is being pleased by Ahmet. Yes, so Ahmet is the doer of the action, and Ahmet's father is the object, receiver of the action. To excite, to be exciting, active, to be excited, to be being excited, passive. To annoy, to be annoying, active, to be annoyed, to be being annoyed, passive. To oppress, to be oppressing, to be oppressed, to be being oppressed is passive. The young respect the old. This is active. The young people respect the old people. The old are respected. Okay? Present passive. The old are respected by the young. The old love the young. The young are loved by the old in our culture. Now, passive voice with non-continuous tenses is like this, non-continuous, no ing. So after one of am is are was were, after subject, of course, subject, verb is one of them. Am is are, was were, have, has, had, been, or will, can, should, has to, had to, be. Then verb three. Okay. So just as we cannot make continuous tenses without one of those to be variations, we cannot also think of making passive sentences without one of those to be variations. Okay, but here after to be, we use verb three, past participle form of the verb in passive sentences. Okay. For example, chemistry isn't learned here. Okay, chemistry isn't learned here. English is learned here in our class. Now, after this general introduction, of course, I am sure that it has been, okay, it has been a little bit confusing, but I hope it will be useful for the following. All past, present, and future passive voice sentences. Let's get started. Passive voice tense by passive voice tense by simple present tense. Yes, by the simple present tense. Yes, just after this page, we will start it after this generalization. Now, most specific, let's turn back or let's move on to the most specific topic, which is this. Okay. This is the beginning of our journey in the passive voice. Yes, I am sure, again, let me tell it again, your English will double after having learned these passive voice sentences. Okay. Okay, now let's concentrate on the simple present tense, passive voice. Yes, we have already learned and we have acquired simple present tense earlier, formerly. Okay, for example, you know this as if it is as if it is a sentence from your native language. We learn English. Okay, we learn English. Now, this is active voice. What about passive? One, a English is learned. Okay, simple present of passive. English is learned. What else is learned? Here, for example, at a school, at a college. Spanish. Let's make a sentence with Spanish instead of English. Spanish is learned here. What else is learned here? Let's do it as if we are at the beginner level of English. Yes, okay. Chemistry. Chemistry is learned here. What else is learned here? Literature is learned here as well. What else is learned here? Biology is learned here as well. What else is learned here? Psychology is learned here too. What else is learned here? Rhetoric or eloquence is also learned here. What else is learned here? Grammar is learned here. What else is learned here? Logic is learned here. This is the first passive sentence of us with the simple present tense. Okay? This is the simple present tense of action verb, okay, and active voice with action verb, of course, but active voice. And this is our first sentence in the simple present tense in passive voice. Okay. Okay. Yes. This is the passive form of this active sentence. This is the passive form of this active sentence. Dialogue 2. Now, I think we are familiar with the passive voice sentences. Confidence is subject, for example. Confidence, yes. Is verb, okay. The verb of all passive voice sentence is one of the to be variations. Am is are, was were, been be, as it is in the continuous tenses. Instead of verb ing now, verb 3 comes here, okay? Verb 3 comes in passive voice. Confidence is learned on our own. What else is learned on our own by ourselves? Courtesy. Courtesy is learned on our own. What else is learned on our own? Aesthetics is learned on our own. What else is learned on our own? Honesty is learned on our own or by ourselves. What else is learned on our own? Sharing, this is a gerund, but verbal, and it is a noun now. Sharing is learned on our own. What else is learned on our own? What else is learned by ourselves? Kindness is learned by ourselves or on our own. 3, confidence is gained in a specific or in a particular, in a special area. What are we motivated? What are we motivated by? To be more confident, we are motivated by the human good qualities to be more confident. Or we are motivated by the beauty to be more confident. 4a, competitiveness is developed by learning a useful new thing. Which quality is developed by learning a martial art? Discipline, I think, discipline is developed by learning a martial art. How is courtesy learned? Courtesy is learned by communicating with people. Now, thought-provoking sentences, let's concentrate on them one by one. In fact, yes, 1. Okay, problems are not solved through just one way. Okay, problems are not solved just one way. 2, sentences are not made without verbs. Yes. But what about 3, sentences are not given without evidence? Yes. 4, people are not sentenced without evidence. People are not sent to prison, for example. People are not sent to prison without evidence. This is the way, this is the perspective of the truth, not the way of the untruth, the false. 5, we enter homes through doors. This is active, okay? You know this very well. We enter, we go in. We enter homes through doors, active. Homes are entered through doors, not through the windows or not through the chimneys. Passive form. 7, I hope your English knowledge is revitalized or refreshed through online English lessons. Yes. I hope you will deal with, or what was the equivalent of deal with something successfully, get through. Yes, get through. We learned in the previous video. I hope you will active. I will make an active sentence. I hope you will get through your English in our online English lessons, or I hope you will deal with. I hope you will deal with your English successfully through our online English lessons. Now let's turn back to our passive sentence. I hope your English knowledge is revitalized, is refreshed through online English lessons. 5, yes, this is a tragic moment. This is a tragic moment. Dialogue 5A. Tropical rainforests are found in the Amazon region of South America. Yes, passive sentence. Tropical rainforests are found in the Amazon region of South America. Where else are they found? Where else are they? Remember, our verb is one of the variations of to be. Emizar was verb being be. So here are. Where else are they found? Yeah, just like making a to be sentence. So they are found. Okay, find, found, found. They are found in Central America. Where else are they found? They are found in South Asia. Where else are they found? They are also found in Southeast Asia. What are they? They are tropical rainforests. Now, they produce Sony cameras in Japan. Sony cameras are produced in Japan. Sony cameras are produced in Japan. What kind of cameras are produced in Germany? That kind of cameras are produced in Germany. Both the young and the old drink Coke, active sentence, almost all over the world. What about the passive form of it? 7. Coke is drunk. Okay? Drink, drank, drunk. Coke is drunk. Simple present. Coke is drunk. Both the young and the old. Almost all over the world. What else is drunk? What else is drunk? Almost all over the world. Iran is drunk almost all over the world. What is drunk in Turkey generally? Grape juice is drunk in Turkey generally. What is drunk in the USA generally? Orange juice is drunk in the USA generally, in general. Okay, drink, drank, drunk. So, bit to be, we use the verb 3 of the main verb. Okay. Coke is drunk. Well, with the simple past tense in the following video, we will do it like this, for example. Coke was drunk, okay? Coke was drunk by the visitors yesterday, okay? Coke was drunk. Verb will be was in the next video for simple past tense. This is for simple present tense. Okay, simple present tense of to be. Coke is drunk. This is a general rule again. Okay, let's see the active sentence. They show the mistakes. Okay, active sentence, passive sentence. The mistakes are shown. When are the mistakes shown? The mistakes are shown just after the exam. They play soccer. Okay, they play soccer or football almost all over the world. Yeah, this is a general situation. They play football almost all over the world. But what about passive? Again, the general rule, as a general rule, present tense of general rule, this is present tense of passive voice. Football is played, okay? Football is played almost all over the world. Which another game is also played? Basketball is also played almost all over the world. Which another game is also played? Volleyball is also played almost all over the world. Yes, this is a general acceptance. This is a general rule. This is a general reality, fact. Now, Harun just reports me, active sentence, okay? Harun just reports me the result each month. He doesn't do anything else, okay? What he does is just this. He just reports me the result each month. Harun just reports the result to me each month. Each month. Okay. So if me comes first, then we don't use to, but if the result, for example, comes after the verb, we use to. To whom? To me, to him, to her, to them, to us. Yes. Harun just reports me the result each month, but Harun just reports the results to me each month. Now, dialogue 10. I am just reported the result each month, passive voice, or the result is just reported to me each month. How many times am I reported the result a year? It is clear that you are reported 12 times a year, 12 times a year, okay, by Harun. How many times is the result reported to me a year? The result is reported to you 12 times a year by Harun. Okay, because there are 12 months in a year. So let's focus on the active sentence in present, simple present tense. They show us the homework again in the afternoon. They show us the homework again in the afternoon. This is what they do usually. This is a routine application, the routine performance. Okay. 11a, we are shown the homework again in the afternoon. What are we shown? When are we shown the project again? You are shown the project next Monday again. The homework is shown to us. Here we are shown the homework. The homework is shown to us again in the afternoon. When is the project shown again to us? The project is shown next Monday to you. Okay. When are we shown the project again? So you are shown the project. When is the project shown? The project is shown to you. Okay. This is the important point here. 12 photos are chosen. Do you see the present meaning, simple present tense meaning of the passive voice here? Photos are chosen by a photo editor, who is a software program written by, or by whom? By who is a software program written? Yes. A software program is written by the columnist of the company, by Ahmed Bey, yes. Who is the software program written by? The software program is written by Ahmed Bey. This is his job. Okay, quiz time. Please choose the correct alternative. Yes, tropical rainforest blank in the Amazon region of South America. So which one is true? Let's see the, key, there isn't the key. So tropical rainforests are found, okay, are found in Amazon region of South America. When blank we shown the project again. So when are we shown? When are we shown the project again? They blank us just a report each month. They don't show us anything else. So present tense. They show, see, they active. They show us just the project, just the report each month. They don't show us, again, active, anything else. Poultry blank as pet poultry as pet animals by many people, especially by the children in my hometown. So poultry are used, okay? Poultry are used as pet animals by many people, especially by the children in my hometown. Are used. 5. All of us blank by his frank attitude yesterday. All of us were surprised. Yes. All of us were surprised by his frank attitude yesterday because he behaved frankly. Yes, okay. He surprised, okay? He surprised us by his frank attitude. So we were surprised by his frank attitude yesterday. Yes, Natalie, dairy products. Yes, poultry are the animals, and dairy are the dairy products. Okay, what about vocabulary? Yes, again, let's concentrate on active, passive voice again. To entertain, active. To amuse, active. To please, active. But to be entertained, passive. To be amused, passive. To be pleased, passive. Duygu Hanım entertains children with music and stories every week. Are the children entertained by Duygu Hanım with music or games or stories? They are, or the children are entertained by Duygu Hanım with stories. Okay. Innovation and conservatism. Without going into change fantasies, one should have the idea of innovation. What can be said? This is very famous, okay? What can be said about a conservative mindset? Yes, what can be said? It can be said that without a conservative mindset, we cannot have an innovative mindset. There should be a balance between them. But this one is important. They say that, okay? They say that it is said that, or we can say that, or it can be said that. What can be said? Okay. It can be said that in passive. It can be said that we need both of them. Okay. Pull over as a verb, to drive to the side of the road. Yes, pull over. Pull over. And stop your car or make someone else do this. Yes. The officer told Jack through the megaphone to pull over. To pull over means take your car to the side of the road. Okay. What kind of ticket did she give him? She gave him a fine ticket. Did George pull over his car, or did the police officer pull over his car? Of course, George pulled over his car because the police officer told him to pull over his car. Please compare. Jihad is like a comedian. Jihad is a bit like a stand-up comedian. He looks like a comedian. He looks famous. Yes, up to now, we use a noun after is like or looks like, okay? But from in sentence 3, he looks adjective. He looks famous. Jihad is a kind of comedian. He is kind of or kinda sort of famous. He is kind of famous. He is kinda famous. He is sort of famous. But he is a kind of comedian. Okay, like as proposition, conjunction, verb, etc. Noun. This is really important. 1. Tahsin is an actor like Emirhan. Okay, like Emirhan. So Emirhan is also an actor. Nadir can't dance kol bastı like Dursun can. Okay? Temel is just like Dursun, means Temel resembles Dursun. Therefore, both of them like eating fish. Everybody is free to choose their likes and dislikes. Here, like is a noun, and dislike is also a noun. Okay. Podcast is a series of digital media files as audio or video non-streamed webcast. Yes, podcast is also non-streamed webcast, just like our videos. Yes, I prepare them beforehand, and then I share it on YouTube. This is a podcast then. Okay. Sinan has downloaded the podcast of a cartoon film. Who has downloaded a podcast of a documentary for us? Yes, Alice has downloaded a podcast of a documentary for us. Evolve as a word, develop gradually or to cause something or someone to develop gradually. You know, it is both transitive and intransitive, okay? Revolutionize means completely change something so that it is much better. Hey, Hassan has been evolving for a long time, okay? This is intransitive, no object here. Hassan has been evolving. Has he evolved his style? Now, this is transitive. Has he evolved his style of story writing or poem writing? Yes, he has evolved his style of story writing and poem writing. How can he evolve? How can he evolve or develop one of his stories into a novel? Yes, he can evolve one of his stories into a novel easily by working on it for a year. What has revolutionized learning English nowadays? So I think what was the name of that application we are using now? Zoom. Yes, Zoom application has revolutionized learning English nowadays. Intention hinges on perspective. Hinge on means, as you know, we mentioned it before. Hinge on, depend upon, be contingent upon, be dependent on, also possible. We are rewarded, passive voice. We are rewarded according to our intention. We intend to be, to do and to have something according to our perspective and act accordingly. Is intention associated with purpose? Yes, we can say that intention is associated with purpose. It's a matter of viewpoint. A selfish or egoist person is a person who wrong views even himself or herself. To annoy versus to be annoyed. To annoy versus to be annoyed. To annoy versus to be annoyed. Annoy versus, the same thing. Yeah. To annoy, to be annoyed. Let me delete this part. Annoy as a word, annoy somebody means upset somebody, bother somebody. Egotistical as an adjective, believing oneself to be better and more important than others. Of course, this is not a fact. Nobody is better than, or nobody is more important than the others. Serdar has a tendency to be moody. He gets quickly and easily annoyed and unhappy. Erhan is prone to be egotistical. How does he behave? He behaves egotistically. Okay. Yes, vs means versus. Compared with means compared with, as opposed to. To annoy, as opposed to be annoyed, or to annoy compared with to be annoyed. It seems that you are not satisfied. Yes, passive again. It seems that you are not satisfied with this explanation. It seems that this explanation does not satisfy you. Active voice. This one. To entrust, again, to entrust as opposed to be entrusted. Okay? To entrust versus to be entrusted. Our ego is entrusted to us, passive. Of course, all the verb trees are adjective. Entrusted, ego. Entrusted car, entrusted house, entrusted wallet. Yes, to use as a unit of measurement or to be used as a unit of measurement. Our ego is a unit of measure. To do what? To use it as a unit of measurement. So, or to be used as a unit of measurement, our ego is a unit of measure. Okay. Do you see the difference? To use as a unit of measurement is active, also possible, but to be used as a unit of measurement is also possible. Okay. We can start one of them. Okay, like a true wrestler, it's a matter of beating ourselves. So after preposition, we use gerund. So active gerund, we will have full presentations about these active infinitives, active gerunds, passive infinitives, passive gerunds, okay? It's a matter of beating ourselves and naturally not being beaten by ourselves. That's what counts. That's what counts. Not being beaten. The same message. It's a matter of beating ourselves and naturally not being beaten by ourselves. To motivate, active. If someone motivates you to do something, they make you feel willing, determined to do it. What or who motivates you to learn English? My father motivates me to learn English. Or my job. The necessity, the necessity motivates me to learn English. What makes you want to learn English? Reading books, yes, reading books makes me want to learn English. What makes you wonder about English? Stories, cultural activities, and foods make me wonder about English. A global job, for example, a global job motivates me to learn English as active voice, but passive voice, I am motivated to learn English by a global job. Let's get motivated, also possible. Let's get started. Let's get motivated on English. Let's get focused on English. Let's get concentrated on English. Let's get motivated on English and stay motivated to acquire English. What do they say? They say improve your motivation to study English. Yes, motivation to do something. Noun to do something. Motivation to study English. How to get motivated to acquire English? I am motivated to learn English by a purpose to, or by a need to, by a necessity to find a global job. What are you motivated by to learn English? So I am motivated to learn English by the fear that I will leave a culture shock. Not to leave, okay? Not to leave a culture shock. Okay, to be motivated again, passive voice, what are you motivated by to learn English or by my personal career? Let's answer with it. I am motivated by my personal career to learn English. Okay, thank you very much. This is like this for today. I hope it was useful and I hope it was a good start. It was a good start to acquire passive voice. Okay, see you in the next video.